Hello, YouTube! Welcome to the shop. Here's an overview of the Foley Belsaw planer molder. I purchased this machine from Craigslist. It was actually never used from whenever it was originally purchased. It was new old stock. It did not have a motor or any control units. I ended up using this machine to replace my original Foley Belsaw planer molder. I have a few videos on that. I'll put a link in the cards and in the description. But I ended up taking the motor off of my first Foley Belsaw and installing it on this one. I wired it up and put that motor here. It was still good. Ran my wiring up and around and into a magnetic motor starter. This runs on 220 volt single phase power, and I have it going to a welding plug in the wall here. The model number for this machine is a 9103. This is one of their first planers they made, I believe. It's all steel construction. The only thing that's cast iron on this is a little bit of the frame and then the bed with steel extension wings. This machine makes quite a bit of sawdust. I've had it to the point where boards are actually hitting the pile and knocking the pile over as they're coming out. This is just a small pile now. You can see the whole back end of the machine is open. And has a gearbox that takes the speed of the cutter head and turns it down to work for the feed rollers. And then on this side is the pulleys for the motor. Actually, I have the extension wings mounted backwards. The wooden one's supposed to be up front. And that it takes accessories like a saw blade attachment. This came with the machine and gets mounted up front here. I've never run any molding. I had a little bit of an accident with my previous molder spitting out one of the knives. And since that happening, I really don't want to do any moldings again. The machine sits on a couple rollers and only the one side steers. I like to replace it so all four steer. It's a little more maneuverable in a small shop. Everything runs. This machine shakes, rattles, and rolls just like my last one. I think the belts are probably need tightening. That's why it's shaking so much. So enough of talking, let's run a board through it. This machine seems to do a pretty nice job. It's got a little bit of snipe on either end, but really not too much. You can see this board had a few knots in it. It didn't care. Really a cool looking board. This was a piece of cherry. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I have plans on building a homemade 20-inch planer. I purchased a cutter head a few months back, and so sometime, I don't know when that'll be, I have plans on building a homemade planer using parts from this machine to do so. Like the cutter head, I'd like to steal the cutter head and the motor off, and I'd like to be able to use the molding attachment and have a separate cutter head for planing, and then be able to raise and lower the molding attachment so you can quickly do planing or quickly do molding, whatever you'd like. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Hit that like button, please comment, and like me on Facebook, follow me on Google+, and we'll see you next time.